Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Wednesday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about Kyle Richards, who's also talking about Dorit Kemsley and the whole divorce situation that's going on with PK. There's a lot that's happening right now in the Bravo world. Garcelle was mentioned, Teddy's health was mentioned, but then let's kind of take it over to Paige DeSorbo because now she was mentioned because she was talking about a few things. That's been going on behind the scenes. I feel like we have a lot. We have a lot to discuss, and I love a day where we have a lot of to discuss. It makes me happy, and when I'm happy, then I feel better. When I feel better, I look better. When I look better, I do better, and when I do better, no, actually, I think it stops there. Anyways, yeah, let's just get into it. Today, I get to get my eyebrows waxed. I'm so excited. Nose waxed. I think that's important, and yeah, we have lots to talk about. So let's jump right in. All right, guys. So let's start with the Kyle Richards of it all because it was actually a recent interview that she did, and she addressed a lot of personal and cast related matters. I think that a lot of us are not thinking that she's going to be so shocked, right, by this whole Dorit PK divorce. I think that not only did she see it coming, we saw it coming, everybody saw it coming. I think that's probably a solid, oh, okay. But we still want to hear her opinion on it, especially because she's friends with both of them. She said, I haven't spoken with Dorit. I sent her a text, and that's all you can do is reach out when she's ready. I know it's a very difficult time. It's always sad to see a family broken up. Always. Yeah. Way to keep a political or a politically correct answer. Because we know, and Kyle, this is no shade to you, but we know your ass has reached out to PK. I mean, I don't actually know for certain, but I would imagine that she has. Now, speaking of Garcelle's departure, Kyle did say that she was sad over Garcelle's exit from Beverly Hills. I don't know if I believe that, but she noted that, she had several attempts to reconnect and they've been unanswered. And she said, I have not heard from her. And I felt bad that she was not coming back. I was excited that our friendship was blossoming and going into what she was saying, a deeper level. And now she's gone. So it's sad. I truly think the way that Garcelle, even at the reunion, where I think that she really wanted to go in on Kyle about why Morgan Wade could not be mentioned this season and why Kyle was trying to rally the troops off camera in order to get everybody on the same page to not talk about Morgan Wade. And I think really what pissed her off was she thought, since I've been there for Sutton, that Sutton would be there for me. But Sutton was not going to go against Kyle at all because, like they all said, it's like Sutton is seeking some sort of approval from Kyle, which I don't know what the hell that's all about. But I don't think Garcelle's really interested in a friendship. And also, to be fair, when she mentioned the whole Morgan Wade and other things, Kyle was really good with her responses and explaining like, well, this is because of this, and this is because of this, and I didn't do this because of this. If anything, she wasn't good in her responses as to why her and Dorit have, like a shitty friendship at this point. I think really instead of being like, well, at BravoCon, you rated me second in terms of the sisters, Kathy, Kim, Kyle, or third, I don't know. And then, she made up a lot of silly shit that really didn't matter when she really should have just said, you breached my trust the minute that you handed over a personal text, not an on-camera situation. It was not an on-camera dialogue. You breached my trust the minute that you handed that text over to be used at the reunion and blindsided me with it. That would have been an honest answer. Now, going back over to Teddi Mellencamp too, she did share an emotional moment talking about Teddi's cancer battle. And she said she's definitely the best thing that ever came out of doing Beverly Hills for me by far. And I'm so grateful for her. And she said, we got great news the other day where that made all of us very, very happy and excited and very emotional. And I was actually in Target on FaceTime with her and the doctors and sobbing in Target while we were all ringing things up. And I think that I believe that. I think that Kyle is a very emotional person anyways. And I don't think that with what Teddi is going through at this point, I really feel like even the toughest person would be emotional in this moment. I don't think that anybody could not. I mean, you're talking about stage 4 cancer and brain tumors the size of plums. Like, this is a big deal. And then even seeing the photos of Teddi with all of the scars on the back of her head and her neck, like, it's so sad. And even just like, it's just gut wrenching to even look at the situation as a whole and imagine like this is what this person is going through and what their family is going through. So yeah, I would imagine that she would get emotional over that. Let's move on though. Paige DeSorbo, who's absolutely killing it right now. She just opened up about her approach to discussing Summer House on her podcast with Hannah Berner. That would be the Giggly Squad. And she avoids Summer House topics. She explained that, from the inception of the podcast, they chose not to discuss Bravo-related content. She said, we've never spoken about Summer House because when we started, we were like one of the first podcasts to come out of Bravo, and they were really adamant of this is not a Bravo podcast. Do not speak about Bravo. And also, she has to, when she started the podcast with Hannah Berner, like everybody said, and she said, this was birthed during COVID, the pandemic. I have to be careful what I say on here. But they didn't know that it was going to take off in the way that it has. I mean, you never know. You could be excited and hopeful, but 30-something cities all sold out. The Radio City Music Hall, 6,000 seats, filled 2 nights in a row. New York Times bestseller book that came out of it, hosting Vanity Fair things, all of the sponsorships, the brand promotions, everything. This is really, really skyrocketed for her. But before that, she really, she had to be mindful of the paycheck that was Summer House and still is. Do I think she'll be with Summer House for forever? No, I don't. I think that this will just get bigger and bigger for her. But the dynamics with Hannah Berner, she did share that there was a lighthearted conflict regarding their on-camera positions. And she said she has to stand on a certain side and it's so diva and I can't. And we literally did the Vanity Fair Oscar party and my dress had a side. And I was like, Hannah, I have to stand on this side, like my dress. And she looked at me in the eye and she goes, I will literally die. So yeah, these are fun little girly, silly moments, but I don't think that these girls are clearly best friends. And I mean, I have people who walk up to me all the time and they're like, yes, the Giggly Squad. Adam, don't go against Paige. And I'm like, what is this? Like a whole cult following? But it is. It's like a girl cult. I mean, I'm sure that there's the guys and the gays too. Like, I get it. But I'm just saying it really is like it's a massive, massive following. But handling the public backlash, she reflected on dealing with a lot of the criticism. And she said, I think reality TV brought that up really because like in the human brain, I'm not supposed to see 200 people commenting on how much they hate me. It's none of my business. So, it's been, I think, kind of crazy. And I would agree with her that would be an awkward position to be in. And I think that, like even on YouTube and stuff, you kind of see a little bit of that, but this is still not like mainstream, like millions of viewers in one. I mean, it depends. It depends who the YouTuber is. I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think, guys. Pop off in the comment section, please. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. I want to hear what your thoughts are about Kyle Richards and the whole situation with Dorit and PK, how this is going to play out for her. Because she did say she would be there for Dorit if she went through anything. So we'll see on the next season because Dorit, I'm sure, will be back. And then Paige DeSorbo. Pop off. Love you guys.